Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Pixbarters here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice. When we left off, turns out that Queen Gran is the prosecutor and all this stuff, and she brought Dirk up to the stand to incriminate himself.
She looks very different now.
Yes, yes, she does. It's a bad time over here, and so she's
apparently
just
not for Nayuta.
apparently not.
Going off of all that you did.
That was some. Let's just. We'll move on from that for the rest of these parts.
Like,
We'll just.
moving on.
We'll move on until that relationship brings itself back up again, which hopefully it doesn't. No, I'm saying I'm gonna stop unless Nayuta says something that's 1 plus 1 equals 2.
That just has to be addressed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, all right, we left off. We got this little thing right here. It says the possibility of a third party being there in the tomb is probably non-existent, but that's one of those like boom statements.
Yeah.
So we should have something, and the only thing that really makes sense to me is a mysterious bloodstain, because it was already wiped up and doesn't belong to the victim.
Even though that seems like an endgame thing to present.
Exactly. It seems too soon to present this, but it's proof that if there was blood wiped up and it didn't belong to the victim, then who did it belong to?
True.
Boom.
True.
Your Eminence, I'm afraid this trial will not go exactly as you anticipated, because I can show how there might have been a third party in that tomb.
Oh, how very fascinating. Go on, I do love a good fairy tale. What a bit!
We did luminol test at the crime scene, and we found a bloodstain that didn't match the Justice Minister's blood. I'll remind you that neither Dirk nor Miss Faye were injured during the incident.
I just realized something.
Yes?
Her hair is floaty, just like Nayuta's scarf is floaty.
Yes.
They're the
His
floaty
magic
team
scarf.
over there.
For real. The thing is, this bloodstain we found hadn't been wiped up by someone. Oh, man.
But who could have done such a thing?
That's the big question, isn't it? Who wiped up the blood, and why?
And why?
Thinking about it logically, it must be someone who wanted to conceal their presence at the scene of the crime.
Oh, caught me at a yawn. Oh no.
Whoops.
Oh, and to whom do you suppose the bloodstain might belong?
The bloodstain belongs to Amara, the real killer of the victim. Well, that first answer, as true as we may think it could possibly be, that would also bring the whole courtroom down, because no one's supposed to know about that yet.
They'd be like, she'd be like, fucking excuse you,
quiet down
off
for
with
a
your
minute
head
here.
right this instant.
Quiet.
And they're dead, and everyone's like, what did he mean by that?
he's
and then Raven's like, Amara's alive! And then this whole, like, everybody, who knows what would happen.
So I'm just gonna say the real killer.
In some alternate reality.
Yeah. The bloodstain belongs to the real killer, of course. Whoever it was, they were probably shot while they were attacking Mr. Inga. And since their blood would give them away, they had to wipe it up. I say this because we know for a fact that the Justice Minister fired his gun in the tomb.
Whew. You have the memory of a flea. There was nowhere for anyone to hide, thus this too is a known fact.
But a bloodstain from a third party means there must have been someone hiding there.
Very well then, tell me this. Where was this third party hiding?
Oh,
under the floorboards.
The crime scene was thoroughly searched after it was discovered. So if there was a hiding place, it would have to be somewhere no one would dare look. Like, I don't know if I said this last time, but I have a theory.
Oh boy.
Because if Amara is alive and not dead, then that means the tomb is not actually a tomb. So there's no body in there, which means that could easily be a hiding spot.
A hidey hole?
Now, if that means if it's still cold or not, I don't know.
Hopefully
obviously
not.
Because my theory would be that Amara / Nana has been sitting in there for like 2 whole days now, and they'd probably be like a, like they find the old like a Neanderthal cavemen bodies frozen in ice for thousands of years. That's what she's gonna look like. They haven't been in there for so long.
No.
Somewhere no one would dare look.
I don't like that mental image. Let's have your answer, defense. Now, where could the third party have hidden?
The sarcophagus. Although I suppose there's a potential that someone could have just like painted themselves in copper and just hopped in there and just stood there for however long the royal guard was there, just in a pose, just
Were they copper?
statue.
Well, I'm just saying they were brown, so I'm saying someone
Yeah.
painted themselves copper to
Yeah.
match it. I'm trying to be fancy with my color words.
Oh, like one of those
Like one of those street statues.
performers.
Yeah,
they stand there for like forever and freak people out.
There's one place no one would search, not even the Queen's Royal Guard.
I've met one in Mexico.
And that would be, of course.
He was very talented. He spooked me though.
Oh no. Inside Queen Amara's sarcophagus. Even now it's locked up tight. No one would find you if you hid in there.
The thing is, the fact that it's locked up tight, that's the thing.
Yeah. I'm told that's temperature controlled to preserve the mummy within. But if someone dressed warmly enough, they could withstand the cold for a short time.
It sounds like the name of a movie. The Mummy Within, like the next
Yeah.
sequel.
This is sacrilege! Surely the perpetrator of such a foul deed would be cursed.
But that's just it. The killer knew everyone would be too scared to open the sarcophagus. True, the guards were so scared of being cursed they wouldn't even touch it. And when the coast was clear, the killer made a quick escape from within the frigid confines, except for the fact that it was locked.
Yeah.
Well, now, that does sound like a plausible method of evading capture.
The defense requests a DNA test on the bloodstain. And then we'll see just who the real killer is. Ow. Huh?
Bow your head and kneel, lawyer. Oh. So your head may be parted from your shoulders.
I quite like my head, thank you. But the trial's not even over.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
She
Whoa!
used, what was the word? Whirlwind.
Yeah.
The Pokemon moves. How soon you forget? You are already on the headsman's scaffold.
We need to lower that down to like a gust, please.
A gust. Isn't Gust a Pokemon move also?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's less powerful.
Oh,
Though, so.
she used freaking, what was it? Is it? Yeah, Twister.
Ah,
Twister's
yes.
a dragon type, I believe. So no, she can't use that. She's not a defiant
She's not
dragon.
a dragon. God damn it.
As such, I could order your beheading at any moment.
All I do is request a DNA test.
There is no need to request such a test. Bitch. Royal Guard, bring it forth now.
Here you are, Your Eminence.
The police have already identified the source of the bloodstain. The DNA test revealed that the blood is of the traitor Dirk Sadmadi.
What? But Dirk wasn't injured, so where did his blood come from? Maybe he coughed it up. Huh?
Oh.
Dirk's illness. Still, there was a lot of blood. Could he have really coughed up that much?
All Might does.
It is a lot of blood. And he did wipe it up to hide his failing health.
All Might's blood fills up half the screen when he coughs up.
He made a blood trail though, which is lower.
Yeah.
Dirk, is it really that bad? But it is his blood, so we can't deny that, and he wasn't hurt. So I guess that. Oh shoot! You got me.
What kind of reaction is that?
I guess it says, "Yep, you're right." I coughed
well
it up.
darn. God, that's a lot of blood to cough up.
That
though.
is. That's a rough amount of blood.
Pay attention, Horn Devil, for this case has already been solved. You claim that this bloodstain would lead us to the real killer, did you not?
About that.
Did you or did you not make that claim of your own volition, defense?
Yes, I did. After she steered you in that direction, that is.
That's like twisting our words, though, to
I
her
throw it into a
benefit.
trap. I mean, yeah.
Do you see now the folly in opposing the very embodiment of the law? Whatever you say or do shall come to no avail. A third party at the scene of the crime. It's beyond the realm of possibility.
No.
Praise be for Queen Wright.
Premonition, take a turn beyond Kabir.
I hate to say this,
That
but
guy has
she
a
really
really
got
high
us
voice.
good.
The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. My husband and I are the only ones who could have opened it. Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it.
Can I really discount the sarcophagus as a hiding place, though? I mean, no, you can't. What if the real killer is still in there? Because, I mean, if the key is held by her and Inga, then he could have had the key on him as well, which would make sense if he was going into the tomb in the first place.
Oh, you're right.
So, I mean, there could be two possibilities of either maybe somehow Inga was working with Amara, and it was like a weird sacrificial thing, because maybe that was Inga's plan from the get-go.
You think they're pulling a Godot and Elise type situation here?
That's probably asking too much for him. My other thought
He's not a martyr, are you kidding me?
My other thought is that he could have had the key, and then after Amara or whoever killed him, they used the key to open up the sarcophagus to hide in there.
Oh.
Because after you kill someone, you can easily take whatever you want off of them.
Yeah.
But then the question
Assassin's
would be,
Creed teaches that to everyone.
the question again would be then, why was it locked afterwards? Unless, like, Inga died of wounds shortly after she hopped in there and decided to lock her in or something before he finally passed. I don't know. What if the real killer's still in there? Nah, that's just ridiculous. So the real killer is still in there, apparently. Thanks for those kind words, Apollo. That's totally ridiculous.
I
Nothing
believe
ridiculous
we have
happens
rebels
in these
and
games.
sympathizers in the gallery today. It is to you I speak.
Uh-oh.
Have you been listening? Dirk Sarmadi, the one who proclaimed a bloodless revolt, has betrayed your cause by resorting to murder.
No, it can't be. Dirk would never.
There must be some kind of mistake.
The Defiant Dragons and their sympathizers are starting to have doubts.
Yeah.
So this is why Garan allowed us to cross-examine Dirk. By establishing his guilt in Inga's murder, she's effectively damaged his reputation among those who support him.
It's probably why she let those people come in the first place, too.
Yeah, sure, but now we have an even bigger problem.
Now, filthy loyals, you will honor your end of the bargain. Accept your guilty verdict for your failure to explain your client's actions.
Yeah.
How about no? Oh, jeez.
That's not the gavel.
Now I shall pass judgment upon the criminal Dirk Sadmadi.
What's this? You shall pass judgment? But, Your Eminence, is that not my role?
Hold your tongue. You are but a figurehead before me, the embodiment of the law.
You are a queen after all, I suppose.
Consider yourself dismissed.
Dismissed? But
He's just like,
my wife will kill me.
As Queen of Karayan, I shall now pass judgment upon the accused. Guilty.
Oh God. What have I done?
What has she done? Meanwhile, Sadmadi's just like,
Did I
okay.
pick the wrong answer? Oh, wait, no, we got something going on. Wait. You didn't even give me a chance to rebut.
Chotto mate. Know when you are defeated, lawyer. But just this once, I'm willing to show you the depths of my compassion.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Tell me why I should allow these proceedings to continue. Come, convince me.
Because I haven't seen your OnlyFans page yet. Come on. Apollo, get your head out of the gutter and think quick, Apollo.
I don't want to imagine that.
Even if you have to bluff, we gotta keep this trial going. Sure that the crime could have been committed by a third party. How am I supposed to do that? Oh, why don't you start with,
Come on, Phoenix.
her OnlyFans page.
Oh my god, stop.
How about timing his murder? What? This is the whole case. The whole case is built on a single premise. That Inga was murdered after Dirk entered the tomb.
Wait, you read How About the Time of Inga's Murder as Apollo. That was Phoenix.
did. That was a whoopsie on my part.
I was like, wait, why is Apollo answering himself?
What if that's not? But what if that's not true? Now I'm all backwards. Like, if our assumptions are all wrong, it just might work.
Well, don't keep us waiting, defense.
Dirk became the prime suspect because it didn't seem probable that there was a third party at the scene of the crime. But there is another question we should ask ourselves at this time. Was Mr. Inga really killed after Dirk entered the tomb?
What nonsense is this?
Setting aside the assumption that the murder occurred after Dirk arrived on the scene, opens up the possibility of a third party committing the crime. The question before us is, when was Mr. Inga really killed?
After the body was found.
That absolutely makes sense. After Dirk entered the tomb, before Dirk entered the tomb. So, I mean, it would be before Dirk entered the tomb. That's the only thing that really makes sense.
Yeah, after doesn't...
That wouldn't help our case at all.
No, it wouldn't.
So. Isn't it possible that before Dirk even set foot in the tomb, Mr. Inga was already dead?
That would certainly make the possibility of a third party more probable.
Why, of course. I fell unconscious right after I entered the tomb. Even if I hadn't, I would have had a cleared line of sight to his body from the entrance. Which means... you wouldn't have noticed his body either way. This scenario is entirely possible. And so we can't rule out the possibility of a third party committing the crime.
Is that good enough? Can we not die now?
I see. Well, that certainly does make sense.
So far, so good. This might actually work.
Was that a car or a motorcycle?
I think that was a bike.
Very well. I shall play along with whatever little game you have knocking around in that tiny mind.
This feels like a trap.
We're starting to get quite bored of all this. I could do with a distraction.
This feels like a trap.
Yeah.
Yes!
She shouldn't be so chill.
Yeah.
Let us hear some testimony that will shed light on when exactly the minister was slain. Bailiff summoned RAYFA. Surely she has recovered by now.
But what about me? Don't I serve a purpose anymore?
Poor
Apparently
guy.
not. She did dismiss you, unfortunately.
Bailiff, he's the one I ordered around all the time. I hope you are feeling better, your benevolence.
Oh, she doesn't look like she's feeling better.
No.
Must I perform the divination seance?
What? Oh, no. We merely require your testimony this time.
How could my testimony be of any value?
Your benevolence?
Princess RAYFA seems awfully depressed. After what she's been through, summoning her again is like rubbing salt in the wound.
I wonder if she saw anything.
I don't know, because it was like after she did the dance and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she sees anything before we see it in the pool, because it never got to that part for us.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know what got her so shook up.
I mean, it could be, dancing to see your own father's death in front of your eyes. Just kind of that thought alone can stress out a person.
True.
Being unable to perform the seance was probably the last straw. I hope she doesn't pass out again.
Prosecutor Sadmati, may I ask you something?
Of course, your benevolence.
I, been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara and about me?
About you?
About... what?
From where did you hear such a thing?
About her.
From Mother, and only yesterday.
I'm
Wait.
confused. Not the picture. I mean, why would it be about her?
Because that can't be her as a baby.
No, that was 23 years ago, and she's 14.
14.
That'd be a complicated situation right there. But because I mean, she freaked out when she saw the picture.
She did. Like, because she would know what Amara looks like, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So why would she freak out seeing that?
I mean, I don't know if because I mean, I get freaking out from Amara and her being alive essentially because of the Defiant Dragons thing there, but what does it involve you with?
RAYFA was carrying on about telling the truth to the people. So I told her what the truth really was. For it is up to a mother to discipline her child.
I see. Be as it may, your benevolence, it has no bearing upon our trial here today. So there's no need to let it trouble you.
I know.
Gron told Rafe about something other than Amara's status? Sounds like it, but what could it be?
It's like, hey, RAYFA, you want to come over here and talk to us
Can
real
you tell
quick?
us what the fuck's going on? I need some info, dog.
Fill us in. RAYFA, the defense has proposed something preposterous. They somehow think your father was already dead when Dirk entered the tomb. But I believe you can prove them wrong. Are you prepared to do what is required of you?
Yes, I'm ready to testify.
Oh boy.
Very well then, your benevolence. Your testimony, if you please.
Ooh,
Bang, bang, ding, dong. Witness testimony.
it's always so fancy to look at.
It is. What Rayfa witnessed?
On the day of the murder, I was gazing upon the courtyard from my second floor veranda.
Veranda?
Around 2:30 p.m., I saw my father heading for Amara's tomb. Then at about 2:45, I saw Barbed Head and company enter the courtyard.
Barbed Head and That sounds like a band.
But damn.
I saw no one go in or out of the tomb after my father entered at about 2:30.
It's a lot of
In
numbers.
orange, so you know that's important.
Yeah. Your second floor veranda.
I wish I had a second floor veranda.
I know. Oh, she was talking about that house facing his private residence. That whole building belongs to her, you little preppy little
Building. Oh, you mean my room?
So that's the location for which you saw your father? And at about 2:30?
Yes, and shortly after that, you people arrived at the royal residence.
So after the minister entered Amara's tomb at around 2:30, no one went in or out of there until the murder was discovered.
The tomb is closed to outsiders, so no one could have snuck in before the murder. That rules out any possibility of a third party lying in wait to slay my poor husband.
Or so she'd like us to believe.
Now hear me, you useless lawyer. Cease this charade or charade, either one. I say whichever one I want because I am queen.
Okay.
And bow before me.
Just don't take my head.
For I, Queen Garan, shall finally have your head.
No, I want my head.
Forgive me, Your Eminence, but first let us allow the defense to question the witness. It's kind of what they do.
Yes, please.
As the defense, it's what they do.
I know it hasn't happened in a long time until Phoenix showed up, but let me do my job, please. Alright, what you
We're Ray for witness.
The murderer was gazing upon the courtyard from my second floor veranda. About 2:30, my father for Mars' tomb. Sure you did. Did your father seem different or troubled in any way?
Let me think.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, there was one unusual thing.
There was?
He was running with toast in his mouth. He's been watching too much anime. Yes, a shriek emanated from within my father's quarters. After which I witnessed him bolt outside, his countenance drained of its usual color.
He screamed he was looking pale.
Yeah, why couldn't she have said it just like that?
What do you suppose happened?
I know not. Perhaps he had a bad dream.
Maybe it was a nightmare about being raked over the coals by the queen. Not a smart thing to say, Apollo.
It seems our young lawyer here wishes to hasten his journey to the Twilight Realm.
Sorry. That was rude of me.
For real, dude, come on, now you're already on thin ice.
Does the defense believe the witness's last statement to be important?
Yes.
I believe it is. I would like the witness to add it to her testimony.
Even the game knows that it is important.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, no, you don't get an option.
My father let out a scream and came dashing out of his room.
My father let out a
His
scream and
face.
came dashing out of his room, his face pale.
Hold it.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, why do you think he screamed?
He saw a spider.
Was he surprised by someone who didn't belong there? Did anyone else come out?
I didn't see anyone else, just my father.
That last statement was seriously lacking in conviction. Should I press her on this? Press softly or press harshly?
She's going through a rough time.
We go soft. Your benevolence.
Yes?
This incident was a real shock to us all. It must have been really terrible for you. But I want to let you know, I know how you feel.
Please stop. You presume too much.
It's times like these that you need something to take your mind off things. How about we all go on a picnic together or something?
That'd be so cute. Hamburgers for everybody.
I need no sympathy from you. Go on your little picnic alone, Hornhead.
Well, that didn't go well.
He tried.
Apollo, you have to take a more aggressive approach with people like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably
I
right.
guess she is kind of hard-headed.
Yeah.
Now back to my testimony. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Back to no, back to this. Now we gotta be rough on you. Come on.
What happened?
Where is
She
she?
just shake.
Where's Dana?
Where are they?
Where is she?
Well,
You're extreme.
depending on the time, she could be in one place or several.
You mean the tomb? Alright, press harshly. Your benevolence. Let's have some details. The more the better.
Details, you say?
Yes. For example, are you sure you didn't see anyone in the royal residence before 2:30?
She's got her walls up.
Is that a yes or a no?
Eh? Foreign devil! I'd been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2 yesterday. Yet I saw none other than my father. Oh, if I only had stopped him then. Oh.
I think you've struck a nerve, or rather, obliterated
You're
one.
the one who told us to be more aggressive.
Maybe I pressed a little too hard. Still, the last statement seemed a little off somehow. So you didn't see anyone except your father in the courtyard for 2 p.m., huh? Please have your testimony of benevolence. Benevolence. I have been gazing upon the courtyard since about 2, but father was the only one I saw. Well, you know what? I believe we have an Albie who was there at like 2 because his dog came running around.
I'll be there.
I'll be there for you. Okay, your benevolence. You're covering for someone, aren't you?
Huh?
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rafa, but you're not gonna like this. Well, the thing is, I have a statement here that you might find interesting. It's from a witness who claims that around 2 p.m. his dog got loose and ran to the palace courtyard. That's when a little fellow stole this hat from someone.
That's Nana's. I mean, nothing. Never mind.
Uh-oh.
Oopsies. You fool of a daughter.
It seems the princess made a blunder.
Don't cut her head off, please.
So let me get this straight. This is Nana's hat, which means she had to have been in the royal residence at around 2. If so, then you had to have seen Nana sometime after 2 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, no!
Please, your benevolence, tell us what you saw. Oh, whoops, I hit a button too fast,
You
apparently.
did.
Whoops.
It is as you say, Hornhead. I saw Nana. And I saw that dingback dog steal her hat from her in front of my father's residence.
Hey, he's cool. I
He
knew it.
stole a lady's hat.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Because, my mother told me not to.
What?
Withholding testimony.
Would you care to explain, your eminence?
I requested she withhold said information, for it is of no relevance to this case.
She's been missing for like 2 days. It is very relevant.
Yeah.
You don't get to decide.
Oh. If you disagree, then prove that it is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, I will.
Oh, I will.
Your benevolence, please tell us everything you witnessed when you saw Nana.
Alright. When I saw that dingbat dog attack Nana, I ran to help. I raced from my second floor veranda down into the courtyard.
Wait. That means that while you were coming down, you took your eyes off the courtyard.
Oh no.
Yes, but only for a moment.
This is crucial testimony. If you took your eyes off the courtyard, it means somebody else could have been in the tomb without you ever knowing.
Ah!
Your benevolence. Are you sure no one else was there?
Yes.
She's hiding something again. What about Nana? Were you able to help her?
When I got down to the courtyard, Nana was... She was gone.
Gone?
Yes, and I never saw her again after that.
Any idea what happened?
That dingback dog must have gobbled her up.
I seriously doubt that.
Shadow ate
But how
her.
could Nana simply disappear away if I wasn't looking? Rafa must know something. The only question is, what?
Why Shadow's in the court?
I'm gonna save quick.
Why Shadow's the courtyard? Where Nana disappeared to, and why Nana disappeared?
If she knew where Nana disappeared to, she wouldn't have
She wouldn't be sad
been so
about her
confused
being
about why
yeah.
Nana, because she was confused when Nana never showed up in the first place that one
Yeah.
time. So maybe it's why Nana disappeared.
Because, like, Shadow doesn't make any sense.
Why do you suppose Nana disappeared? Even an educated guess would help.
For example,
For example, maybe she got fed up with you acting like a spoiled child.
Wow, Apollo!
You know, something like that.
such impudence! Nana would not leave me merely for acting spoiled.
You're not even gonna deny your behavior? In that case, it seems I was wrong. Moving right along. Rayfa must know something. The only question is, what? I mean, maybe she does know where Nan disappeared to. Do you have any idea where Nan disappeared to?
But what do you mean?
Well,
What
during
you
the time during the time you took your ass off the courtyard, someone could have headed into the tomb. And just so happens that Nana disappeared right at that moment.
No!
Wait, you think Nana had something to do with the murder? I don't think we can rule it out. It sounds like something that kept Nana occupied since the early morning. Plus, she was seen right before the murder and then seemed to vanish into thin air. You're right. And since she's RAYFA'S attendant, she could come and go as she pleased within the palace grounds.
Yeah.
Could RAYFA'S attendant really be the killer? But that would mean...
First my father and now Nana. These were the people I trusted most. How could this be?
AKA, fuck you, Mom.
Yeah. Do not heed their lies. Lawyers are a foul breed, quick to claim that a third party is to blame for a crime. Nana did not enter the tomb, that much is certain.
How can you be so sure?
When Nana's hat was stolen, that crazed cur spilled an urn full of water upon my husband's doorstep. Is that not right, Rayfa?
Yes, it is. While that dingbat dog was tugging on Nana's hat, it tipped over the urn.
The bottoms of her shoes would have been soaked with water. And if she had truly headed into the tomb with wet shoes, she would have left shoe prints along the way.
There are shoe prints right there.
Yeah, but the only shoe prints to be found belong to my husband, Inga.
Oh.
She shut you down quick.
Huh? Then...
Oh no. That's right, Nana never did go into the tomb that day. Instead, she entered my husband's private quarters.
How do you know?
It's quite simple. Shoe prints were discovered in Inga's private quarters.
I remember those.
Shoe prints that belonged to Nana.
That's right. Edgeworth and I did see some shoe prints in there.
Oh yeah, that's right, coming in, yeah. Ooh. Now do you understand? Nana could not possibly have gone into the tomb. And that supposed third person at the crime scene is but a figment of your imagination.
Oh. Another glorious seduction on the hill to James and Airman's Queen Garage.
Bam, we'll dive in floor.
Good Huragon, yeah. Could those guys fanboy any harder? I don't know. You know what? I'll give them about 23 and a half hours to get their fanboying out of their system, okay?
That's never gonna happen, though.
Get out of here. It's not going to happen until she's in prison.
Even then,
God.
they'd send her fan mail.
Yeah, you're right. They'd be like, you know what? We're coming in prison with you.
I loved your work. I can't wait for you to get out of jail.
Oh, good God.